Joining us to discuss what you need to know is this fall is lead long-range expert meteorologist Paul Pasteluk. Paul, thanks for being with us, and thanks for all your hard work putting this together.
Yeah, thank you. It's been an interesting summer, very warm summer so far. That probably is going to extend into the fall season. I do believe that we're going to have a pretty warm start across the nation.
Come on, Paul. You know, fall is all about the sweaters, the pumpkin spice lattes, football. Everyone wants that fall chill, but you're kind of hinting to most of the country being warmer than the historical average.
Yeah, you get a little older, you like to see some of those football games in the warm weather early on before the snow hits. So, yeah, it does look like it's going to be overall a mild start to the fall season. September and October right now looking pretty warm, and really not much change from what you're seeing now. I mean, where the warmest air is over the Rockies with this big area of high pressure that's been dominant for the second half of this summer season. And a lot of that will start to expand that heat possibly toward the Great Lakes in the interior Northeast as well. So places like Detroit, Chicago, and Buffalo, you still got some heat surges coming your way. A little cool down in the Northwest and the Southeast. The wetness is probably going to hold you down, but still overall the start of fall looking pretty warm and humid down there as well.
All right, when it comes to fall, everyone wants to know, are we going to get snow early? We're going to talk about the precipitation across the country. First, let's start with the rain, what we can expect.
Yeah, we have drought conditions going on across the interior Southwest. I think that's going to continue to expand northward as we get into the rest of the summer season, early fall season, probably getting into parts of Montana and Dakotas, getting worse there. But there can be some precipitation that starts to arrive maybe as early as late August, but I think into September and October across the interior West. And that is good news for the big fires that are burning out in the West right now. The East Coast, you're going to have to deal with some stalled cool fronts and maybe some tropical moisture that's going to keep you above average on the rainfall there.
All right, the next map may be sad for some people because there's not a whole lot of blue that pops up on it. What can we expect when it comes to snow this fall?
Yeah, I think as you look at the east, it's going to be kind of a slow start. Generally, you start to pick up some snow in October in the higher elevations across the interior Northeast. Maybe a couple of weeks behind on the significant snow. Can't rule out a couple of flurries then, but I think November is the month. Farther west, though, probably on a normal pace. The Sierras, the Cascades, and the Bitterroots, I think you're on target for a normal start time to your snowfall in the higher elevations as systems start to increase and pick up frequency there.
Well, Paul, most people know that spring is severe weather season, but there is a secondary peak in fall, and we're talking about the potential for more tornadoes.
Yeah, it's been a very busy year this year. In fact, kind of related to the 2011 season where we saw several tornadoes that year. Kind of an analog year, a year that we match up pretty well when we look at our seasonal forecast, and that year is on our target. Look for activity in the Tornado Alley area, Mississippi Valley early on as systems come out of the west. Picking up a little bit in November across the lower Mississippi Valley, and still can't rule out a few severe weather events here and there across the Ohio Valley to the East Coast. And don't forget about the tropical systems. We saw Beryl bring a lot of tornadoes so far in the recent past here, and we could see that kind of activity replay again with any tropical activity.
Yeah, excellent point there. Let's wrap things up with the wildfires because we've been seeing wildfires grow in the West. And what kind of wildfire activity can we expect as we head into the fall season?
Well, the big news has been the Park wildfire that's in Northern California. Over 400,000 acres burned at the present time, and the fires continue to rage in eastern Oregon and Washington as well. This is the peak season for them, okay? This is going to stay with us here for the rest of the summer season into August, and then we'll start to see a little bit more action, some precipitation coming in, and things should start to quickly die off in the Northwest. Southern California, we're still watching mid-fall, but watch out, again, if it starts to dry out in the Great Lakes and Northeast, little concern for a late surge of some fires across that area. The dry conditions could come in during the early to mid-autumn time period, and you can see the totals that we have here. We've actually upped these numbers just recently. This is the latest that you're seeing right now. 6 to 8 million we're forecasting for the U.S. to burn as far as acreage. And California, we've taken that up as well due to the fact of the park forest that's really increased the acreage right now. So very busy season, especially compared to last year. But it could quickly die off in the Northwest, which is good news. We still got to watch Southern California this year and also the Northeast.